But again, welcome everybody for Abel's Go for GitHub Office Hours call. Let's head over to the agenda. There's actually not much to cover today. So we did ship version 7.0, and that included the support for deploying to sandbox environments for one pull request that was previously in preview, and also the new page scripting visualizer. In preview right now, we, I think, have a bunch of bug fixes. So we kind of, in the last month, we focused on making like the version stronger and better. I think soon we will release version 7.1, so you can get these bug fixes released officially. We again prepared a demo repo where you can like pretty much like see what the new thing is, but in this case, it's actually only the page scripting visualizer. And here I just included a screenshot from this repo. This is a screenshot from a CI/CD run. And page scripting on its own, it's not new. It's only the visualizing part that it's new. Here you can see like the failing, passing test, skip test, and as well as like the overall time that the test took to run. This is just for convenience if you're used to looking into like these summaries. We are also taking this forum as an opportunity to make an announcement. Indeed, all BC Container Helper versions before version 6.1 might not work after May 1st, at least like major functionalities will be broken. This is due to some security-related work that we needed to do. This is a link to the pinged issue on Nav Container Helper repository, where you can read a little bit more. And it's worth noting that repositories that run any version of Go for GitHub will not be affected. With that, I think we are ready to start the Q&A or open discussion, depending if you have questions or feedback, bring them up now. Sebastian Shu asks, or says, not about the topics today, but can you please share infos about the progress of runtime package integration feature in AOGO? Freddie, you want this one?
So I take that one. So it is one of the two big topics that we're going to work on. I'm going to work on, at least in this release, over the next months, where right now it's the customization pieces, and this one is after that. So runtime package generation or integration. I'm thinking generation because integration is already kind of up to date, but the entire NuGet story should be finalized before October 1st is the goal, and have something that works well in ALGO. The issue that we've been waiting for was the modern dev team to create a compiler that could generate runtime packages without us having to spin up a container. I have not received confirmation for that, so we'll go ahead and create something that works without it, and then we'll optimize it if we ever get the optimized version of that to save some runner time, really. Hope that answers the question, but yeah, if you want a date, October 1st is the best date, but it's probably going to be before that.
We have a question from Florian. Florian Rotke asks, is there a way to pass parameters to BC Container Helper when using local devenv PS1? I tried setting default new container parameters in the local devenv settings JSON. Let me actually see. It's more, but it doesn't seem to work. In this case, yeah, specifically, I need to use SSL. From local devenv, as far as I know,
Probably not.
I mean, this is something we need to look at, I think, because.
So I don't think it's possible to do that do that today.
No. Yeah, no.
It use SSL as an a parameter and new BC container.
Yes.
So you can add a script override maybe for new BC container.
the local dev.
Would that work in local dev?
That would work, I think.
Uh,
Yeah, that would work.
Okay. So
It's a bit cumbersome, but yes, like that would work. Alexander, you can explain it.
Yes, so essentially when you call local dev, so we'll behind the scenes we're going to call run AO pipeline and nav container helper, and run AO pipeline, when it creates the new container, it'll look for a script with a specific name, and then if you add that script, you can override the functionality of the new BC container so that you can add a parameter. And I'll try to link some documentation, and we actually do this in the BC apps repo as well, so I can link an example of how we do that there so you can see. But that's, I guess, is the only way right now.
So Florian continues with, it is possible to pass enable task scheduler in the setting though, which is strange. Do you, so is there maybe a setting we don't transfer? Might be that. If we actually pass the settings to local dev and maybe use SSO is not one of the settings we transfer. I don't know actually, to be honest. We need to investigate, Florian. It's not something, at least on top of my mind.
I think enable task scheduler is a setting specifically in ALGO, but use SSL or
Yeah, but there are like settings that are transferred to. There are like ALGO settings that are transferred to.
I think he said that if he set that as default new container parameter, like there's a setting in BC container helper that's called default new container parameters. And there, if he sets the enable task scheduler, then it works. But if he sets the use SSL, it doesn't. But yeah, the override will definitely work. If you want a better solution than that, Florian, you can create a discussion on ALGO, and we can try to find a solution there that we can maybe is a little smarter that you can use, but probably, yeah, find a way.
We have a couple of more questions coming in. Sebastian asks, any known issues about BC27 and code signing? Does something changed regarding to the generated app files? BC27, so that's the insider version. I don't.
Not aware.
Not aware. Yeah. Is there like a particular scenario that is broken, or?
Yeah, it'd be good to hear if you're facing issues with it, because then you might not be the only one.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Maybe we're gonna hear a further comment on this one. Then Eric Van Rie, I'm sorry, I cannot read your name. We are using AOGO with great success for outsource apps, but it's lacking any options for building runtime files for old BC majors on-prem. Any plans for adding support for that? For example, using preprocessor directives, that would be a massive help for ISVs. We're forced to use custom scripts now. Yeah, short answer to that is no, but maybe we can consider it. I don't know. Freddie, you being the
Yeah, today we don't have the runtime generation yet, but I don't see any reason when we add that that we shouldn't support this. And with the latest addition in the last version, where you can now do build modes and you can do preprocessor symbols in build modes, you could actually build your app for app source and on-prem in 2 different build modes, and then generate runtime packages for both as well. So it's like together with the the NuGet thing. Generating NuGet packages with runtime packages is probably the direction we're going to go in ALGO. And then you'll just have to figure out how to grab these NuGets and install them on premises. It's just a zip file, you can unpack it. So, but that's the storage mechanism we're going to use in ALGO, and I don't see a reason why that wouldn't just work.
Okay, I hope the question was somewhat answered. Now going back to Sebastian Schu's question about things not working properly on BC27. He says the app file seems not to be in valid format. Next major validation stopped working since Sunday. I'll investigate and bring more info to this. If you believe that this is something that we broke, like Business Central team broke, please create an issue on ALGO, I would imagine, ALGO repository. We need to investigate this if it's a general issue.
Please remember to also include how you do the signing. Are you using managed signing? Are you using a PFX file? Are you using, how legacy signing, managed signing, or Azure trusted signing?
Yeah. Thank you for that clarification, Freddie. Now to Florian Srotki question, would it be possible to make announcements like the one for v6.1 more prominent instead of only posting them in a GitHub issue? Maybe in the future, a notice could be shown directly when running a command in PowerShell. Might not be easy, but still wanted to suggest it. This is, I believe, related to the kind of like the announcement about BC Container Helper. We can definitely think about it. if that's going to help.
Oh, the problem is if you have an old version, how do we know in the old version that it's not going to work at a specific date? It's probably hard. I think we've always said when you're using Container Helper, you always need to be in the latest version. If something doesn't work, try to upgrade, and then if it doesn't work, file an issue, and that's still how it's going to be. I think we also posted something in various locations on the same topic. So yeah, not sure we can do much more. We'll make sure that people using ALGO never sees these things. It's really not relevant for anybody on this call, but if people are using Container Helper for something themselves, then yeah, that might be necessary to upgrade.
Okay, now off to the chat again. I mean, please don't use the chat for questions, but let's take this one as well by Steve Christianos. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Not an ALGO question, but relevant. With BC Container Helper slated for retirement in the next 2-3 years, will its PowerShell Gallery successor have any gaps in terms of functionality for spinning up type on-prem and type sandbox BC containers on a VM? We use this quite a bit to spin up containers, one BC container per developer version country, with the use traffic option for developers to unit testing their branches.
Yeah, so there's definitely going to be some gaps in the functionality. We're not going to just take new BC container and move it as is. We are going to support both on-prem and sandbox containers. I don't see how we can get around that. The use traffic is something we'll need to have a look at if we can create it in a way so that these things could be added on instead of built in, because use traffic has given us a lot of support issues over the times. So if we can make the new command in a way so that these things could be added in a separate partner partner-driven open source module or something like that, that would be my preferred option on that. Every time there's problems with traffic, I spend hours and hours on that, and it's just horrible to get back to those things because we don't need it, we don't use it at all. So these things would be better off like on the side than inside. I hope that's understandable. But the idea on the container helper deprecation is really that we'll take all the things that we need for DevOps and put those into modules inside of ALGO. So the shipping vehicle for those modules would be ALGO. We're not going to publish those modules on the PowerShell gallery. We're going to create a PowerShell module in the gallery that kind of takes care of the on-prem or the things that you want to run locally, which is not the building and not the publishing to online environments and all of these things. Those are DevOps tasks, but all the tasks that you typically run locally, those would be available there. So maybe 5 commands or 10 commands, I don't know. We haven't like gotten to that point yet. But those things will be available, and I'll probably reach out and get some partners' input on what they use and how they use it locally, and then see what we can get around when we get closer to those things.
Yeah, so in short, there will be like the new version of BC Container Helper will be way slimmer, and we'll focus on functionality for local development for it. The rest will be part of ALGO. Okay. Any more questions? There hasn't been anything new in the last 5-6 minutes.
Do you have anybody from Spain or Portugal on the call? Do you have power down there?
Okay. So Florian Rotke says, regarding the deprecation of BC Container Helper, the bottom line would be that it would be again truly BC Container Helper. So no worries at all. Yes, in a way, yes. There will be like functionality supporting work with containers. It's just that the current module grew up so much that it's kind of it just gathers a lot of functionality that is not necessarily even related to containers. For instance, like there is a lot of functionality that is ALGO specific nowadays. So we're trying to decouple those by deprecating the old module, but there will be like a new solution. So it's not like we are like hanging it out to dry. We're just like the announcement of the retiring of BC Container Helper doesn't mean that there's not going to be some other solution. It's just that we haven't built it yet.
The announcement is really mostly for people who are using their own self-made DevOps solution, because they'll have a lot of work to do when these things split up and these things are coming in different modules with different parameter sets and all of these things. So our recommendation is, instead of waiting 2 years now and then having a lot of coding in front of them, spend some time now to ship to a managed DevOps solution, and then you don't have to ever worry about those things again. That's the reason why this message comes 2 years in advance. And not because people need to start recoding now. If people want to code themselves, they need to wait until there's something that they can use. But we recommend not to do things themselves. So Jose Martinez is from Spain, so you have power on there. That's great. Good to hear.
there's still quite a lot of people online, so please join the discussion, ask your questions, or share feedback should you have any. It's this is kind of the forum to do it. This is where you get to talk with us, or at least you write to us and we talk to you.
Maybe we can share a few things on how we've split things up with issues and discussions and the project plan. Do you want to do that, Maria? Or should I?
To share the, well, sorry, I'm a bit brain dead today, but I can.
I just talk about like what issues are for and what discussions are for, and so.
Yeah, we can. Let's do that. Yes, let's
share the ALGO homepage and then just have a quick.
Let's actually see. To have it pinned here. So actually, I think was it last month we announced that we're gonna start using discussions. The GitHub feature has GitHub has this feature called discussions, where you get to kind of ask questions or like suggest ideas, and you get to vote, and we get to engage in different conversations. There has been like some quite good activity. It's like very healthy. We want to like as many people to join, whether you are an experienced AOGO for GitHub user or like an early adopter, it's all fine. We welcome everybody. And then I think the idea was that previously we used issues where you could kind of like create different issues based on whether you want a question, whether you have a question, or whether you wanted to suggest an idea. But with issues, there's like some limitations, and then on top of that, actual issues were a bit buried down. So I think going forward with using discussions is a better approach. And then on top of that, we want to grow like a healthy community around AOGO where it's not only us who could answer questions. So in case we're not available, then maybe there's someone else who can like help you out. I don't know what else. It's the idea also is that I'm not sure if we are like, if what I'm gonna say is what we're gonna do, because Freddie, please keep me honest, but we have the ideas tab here that you can see. And in certain periods, we're gonna get the top most voted ideas. We don't have like a set count, but something that we're gonna actually focus on implementing. So this is your way of driving the development of AOGO for GitHub. So
yeah, exactly. So the ideas in here, you guys can help like vote up ideas that you think are great, and we'll have a look at that. And if we can see ideas that are like having a lot of votes, they're gonna be more likely to be implemented. It's not like we can promise anything, but stuff like the NuGet thing is definitely something we're working on. Code coverage is also something that I hope we'll be able to do. But the other things, please vote up on things. We'll move the things from this one to the backlog in the project plan, and then we'll implement it from there. Right now, there's an ideas list in the project plan as well, and we're going to move those back to discussions, like we moved a lot of bugs and enhancements from issues to discussions. And if we find things in ideas to be categorized as a bug, or a question to be categorized as a bug, we're gonna move it to issues and then fix it as a bug, or move it to the project plan and fix it as a work item, or as a enhancement, really. So discussions is kind of where discussions start, and enhancements gets like baked, and then move them to either bugs or projects. Is kind of the idea. Let's hope that we can manage that.
Yeah, and when you actually create new idea, for instance, make sure like it hasn't been covered already. Just scan, use the search or something. It's not good to have duplicates. And yeah, let's see if we have questions. That like the chat has been no questions, nothing in the chat, but still people are online. So we have a handful of active users today. But yeah, okay, Steve. asks, I have another rookie question. Branch strategies and their best practices. Currently, we avoid merging untested code into the main branch of our AOGO repos and instead create alternate main star branches. For example, to target the next BC major and or monthly features and fixes to our product. We call those branches epics in the Jira world. Once everything's been tested, I PR merge that community branch into main. Is that a sound approach, or am I off my rocker? Okay, I think that's pretty good approach. I mean, it really depends on like the developers, like how many developers work on particular feature, and like your release strategy could affect the way you branch. So there is no right or wrong solution when it comes to branching. I think Freddie has some branching strategies suggested in presentations related to AOGO, I would imagine.
I think it's somewhere in. I'll find the docs, but yeah.
But again, like if it works for you, then that's fine. I mean, it's branching strategies, like they change all the time. But if it works for you, if you feel that way you manage to ship stable code and you manage to kind of quickly revert if something goes off, I think that these are good signs that it's working for you. And again, like I mean, it's not like necessarily related to AOGO, but it's any question is welcome. Anything you think we can help with. We are halfway through today's office hours call. We got already several questions, but we still have people online. So if you want to share something, it's also fine to listen. You know, it's maybe you just like us talking. Anything else, Freddie, or any of the rest, Alex or Sebastian, if you want to share something about discussions or like maybe the project board here. Yeah.
Yes, on the branching strategy, one of the things I like to do, and I actually learned that from Maria, is to open a pull request early, because that way I can easily take the changes to main and merge back into my development branch. And if I don't do that, it tends to become like a huge merge process when you want to merge your branch back into main. So having a pull request open and updating it like regularly allows you to have multiple branches that can be like developing side by side and integrate those later. There it is. Hey, no more questions?
Yeah, I think let's round up to 5:35. If no one asks the questions until then, I think we can give ourselves some time back. Okay. Okay, someone is brave enough. Sebastian Chu asks, it is a bit off topic, but do you know a way to prevent behinds in a pull request in Azure DevOps? I think in GitHub there is a setting for this. In Azure DevOps, I haven't seen anything that is the same. I think on GitHub there is this. Maybe I can try and see if we have some of the old pull requests. No, even this one is up to date. Oh wow. Okay, maybe this one.
Yeah, that one is probably not.
Yes. So on GitHub, I think what also Freddie was referring to a little bit ago, you can set up this. We can kind of like require branches to be up to date, and this action would appear on the pull request, and this update branch will pretty much like pull the target branch into the PR branch. Like all the commits will be done. In
And
Azure,
then conflicts, they'll be you'll solve them right here.
yeah, that as well. Azure DevOps, Alex, do you know anything that?
But maybe I'm wrong.
I beg your pardon?
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't recall seeing such a feature.
Yeah.
Just another reason to move to GitHub, right?
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. So sorry. I mean, we don't. I haven't seen it, and we do also support some repositories in Azure DevOps, so it hasn't been a thing that's been brought up. That was indeed a bit off topic. Still, happy to help if we could. Actually, see, we have a comment on this one. Yeah, we couldn't really help you, but you're welcome. I think the numbers of attendees is slowly dropping. I guess people either heard what they came to hear, or they don't have questions. Again, maybe just a couple of more minutes if someone again wants to ask something. As you see, we're happy to help with anything related to development in this case. But please try to focus on AOGO or BC Container Helper. It's this is the forum. And the rest you can use Copilot for some assistance as well. I think Copilot can do a better job in answering some of these questions, to be honest.
We should have Copilot listening into these office hours.
And answering questions, yeah.
Okay, I think we should say thanks for joining us. And if there are any more questions or topics that you want to discuss, then the discussions on Microsoft/AL-Go would be a good place to start them, and we'll answer there. Thanks for driving this, Maria.
Yep. Thank you for answering most of the questions, and thank everybody who joined and shared their questions and feedback and thoughts. We're looking forward to next month, where the office hour will be a morning one. I think that's what we agreed on.
Yep.
I don't know the exact dates, but there will be an announcement.
Last Tuesday of the month.
Okay. That's Tuesday, May. Whenever that is. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And
see you. Bye-bye.